This could be the little intro part, the cold opening. I have one story written down, and I have it entitled as "The McDonald's Trip of Horror."
Bum bum bum.
And that will
you are now listening to the Jah. What did he say? No, dude, you're right.
Dude, I should just make.
I just gotta edit. I just gotta put that. That's gotta be the intro this week.
I just thought, wait, but can you make it our voice, but the actual like intro, like made for it,
like I won't bring the audio over, but the picture will come over.
But like the whole like little video of like the Jah and Fah thing going around. So
dude,
good.
That was good.
Well, I was just about to say 1 week, or I want to make like a crazy remix of it, like make it really hard. And 1 week we just throw it in, don't say anything about it, and it's like the Jah and Fah show. Maybe not that hard, but you know what I mean. Like nothing else is different besides this crazy remix in the beginning.
I'm so down for that.
Dude, how much do we want to inform our listeners what we're doing, or do we just want to surprise them?
It's funny that you say that because I do. I've always felt like I've loved surprises. Like a surprise amplifies a situation 10 times.
Should we be talking about this on the pod, or is that all you're saying?
Let's get started.
Let's go.
All right, are you for real ready? I can 3, 2, 1 it.
Yeah, don't forget about our intros.
Oh, don't forget about our intros. We already have it set up. We already have it set up completely.
Set up.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Bang. We are back. Episode 16.
Bang!
Great energy. Dude, what's up,
Shout out Mike Brain. Dude, nothing much, man. Having a great time. Me and Jah, of course, started off the morning. Nice long chat as usual. I think we do want to bring up some of the topics we were chatting about, but I got hot coffee today. Starting this stream, man, I always switch them up. Starting the pod off, I got my Spider-Man coffee cup in honor of our huge Spider-Man poster, but it's thick, like the big thing we have hanging up on the wall. Canvas. Our big Spider-Man canvas falling last night at 3:30 in the morning, scaring the shit out of me and Alpha.
Well, I'm glad you're honoring him in such a nice way, though.
Yeah. It was so funny because, I heard the bang, and I remember I looked at Allie. I was like, something fell, and she went, someone broke in. I was like, no one broke in. It's something fell for sure. And she's like, you got to go look. I was like, all right. So I go and look, and poor Spider-Man, it's kind of hanging on top of my computer because it's right over here, and it's kind of hanging all over. And I don't know what happened. I mean, we have them up with those command strip things, and it has been really hot. So I kind of think maybe it got a little too hot for it or something. It just kind of came off. So that's going to be a project for today. Jah, how are you?
Well, real quick, were you sleeping when that fell?
No. However, we were trying to get to sleep because for anyone listening now who tuned into the stream last night, a couple drinks were consumed.
It got bad last night.
It definitely got a little sloppy. AP Holt drank. We had Fish, Tabor, of course, me. We were all drinking, having a jolly good time, and and again, this is at 3:30. We were still going. I surprisingly felt good. This morning I felt fine as well, and I feel good. AP Holt, last time I saw her, she was still sleeping, but maybe she'll make an appearance out here.
Nice, man. I'm glad the hangover bug didn't get you. It didn't get me either. I got my coffee this morning, and also great way to wake up. My mom knocks on my door. She says, how many chicken minis would you like? And I said, not 49, not 51, 50.
No,
I'm lying. That's what Giannis said when he ordered his. Oh. I got 10. So I
And
didn't. I went for the mini Giannis meal. I got the lemonade and Sprite. I got the not 49, not 51,
so
50.
so is this considered a breakfast item at Chick-fil-A?
It is, and actually, yesterday, me and my mom were gonna go, but we just
Right.
ended up not doing it because they didn't have any chicken minis because they only sell them till 10:30. Doesn't make sense to me though because they're literally just fucking chicken nuggets and they just get a fucking honey roll and put them in it. They don't even toast them.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, so how was it? I've never had breakfast at Chick-fil-A. Like, would you recommend them?
Yeah, I actually didn't know you've never had breakfast there. I've had chicken minis many times before. I think one of the first times I had Chick-fil-A breakfast was like one of the first times I flew by myself. So I was probably like 18 or 19 and in the
Hmm.
airport got their hash browns are really good. They're like the little circle hash browns, like
Right.
the ones you would see from
Dunkin'.
like Dunkin' Donuts, except a million times better because they're not just fucking piled in grease and the ones from Dunkin' are always come out 5,000 degrees in
Molten lava.
grease and soggy as hell.
Hmm.
They're always crispy and always good as hell from Chick-fil-A.
Now, have we talked about this? Are you a fan of Dunkin' Donuts or are you not? You are,
I
right?
am a fan. Yeah, I'm a fan of Dunkin'. It's just I definitely I can see through their bullshit. They have a lot of bullshit there.
For sure. You know what? I'm happy you brought up hash browns. You know who has a really underrated hash brown in my opinion that no one talks about, but that I personally think are fire?
Who?
Wawa.
Yeah, I
Wawa.
agree.
I think they have really good hash browns. I feel like no one ever talks about their hash browns. I think they're really good. I
Yeah,
like
I
how they come
actually
packaged. Whole thing.
yeah. I agreed with the packaging because sometimes they'll put them in two hash brown containers and it'll keep it crispy.
Well, they started doing that for COVID. Like, so it, man, I'm so happy this got brought up too. I was actually talking to Allie about this recently. Obviously, so many bad things came out from COVID-19, but some of the things that came out, I really hope stick. Like, that is one of them. I really kind of like having the donuts packaged. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but that always kind of like and I'm not like a super like germy guy, but I don't know, that always made me feel weird because there's just always kids and people are just putting their
Mm-hmm.
hands. It's like that's something I really like. Also, something I really enjoy is the 6 feet thing, like in lines. Let's please keep that going. There is no reason someone needs to be up my ass while I'm paying or when I'm just standing there waiting. Like the 6 feet thing, like that should we shouldn't have had to have a pandemic for that to be a rule, in my
Yeah.
opinion. You
No,
know?
and now it gets to the point where when I'm in line, I actually do feel weird when someone's on my ass. And like it's not their fault, but also at the same time, I'm like, come on, man, can we just start giving each other 6 feet from now on? Like it feels so
Yeah.
much better than me being up your ass and you being up mine.
No, exactly. Well, I do have to tell you. So me and Allie are real big on like just giving people 6 feet because you don't know how people are still feeling. And me and Allie, I mean, we prefer to give them 6 feet. Like we were just saying, it's no big deal. Well, we went to City Walk, which is just pretty much the Disney Spring. It's the Universal version of Disney Spring. City Walk, same thing. Whatever. We went on Tuesday night. We ended up getting pretty plastered. We had a bunch of frozen drinks and stuff. That's a whole other story. But towards the end, we were waiting in line for this bar. I'm such a dick. We were in waiting for this bar, and there's a woman in front of us. And right before the woman finished, this guy comes from the side and completely just like gets in front of us and just goes. So Allie was like, I'm pretty sure he just cut in front of us. So I said, okay, I'm still going to go up though, like acting like I'm going to order. So I was right behind this guy, like with my arm, like practically just being a dick. And it was just annoying because, we always give 6 feet, but then this guy just clearly cuts off and he's like giving all these crazy orders. He had like 4 drinks, then his wife had to come over to confirm. I was like, dude, like, are you serious? So I didn't give him any room. I stood right next to him the entire time, made sure he felt super uncomfy. And then I was super nice to the bartender. I was like, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Little chat, put on the little fa voice. And then I gave her a decent tip. I mean, because she was having a bad day. I did feel bad for her. Um, but just no reason to cut in front of anyone. And I didn't say anything to him, but I made sure he knew I was right there.
You know what the terrible part is? Even
Yeah.
though you were up his ass and you felt like that was your making your point, people like that are so fucking obnoxious and
No,
oblivious
you're
that
right.
that meant nothing to
Nothing.
him.
Yeah.
It
Well,
sucks, but like people are like that. It's fucking terrible.
Well, it was funny because at one point, like the bar was long and then the cash register is at the end. I was standing right in front of the cash register and he kind of had to like wiggle in front of me to pay at one point. Did
Good,
I butch?
good. Stand your
No.
ground, man.
You know what, man? It's like annoying. And it's like, look, like, me and Allie are having a good night. It's not worth like, saying anything, making a big thing. It's just like, this is my personal way to make myself feel better.
I have two things: lock, stocked, and ready to go. um, first thing just wanted to quick statement on the COVID. Well, you were talking about how you enjoyed still having distancing in line and whatnot. The thing that I always said from the fucking beginning of this was that if we as a society come out with better sanitation comprehension and common courtesy to one another to keep each other clean, hands clean and safe, that's a good thing. Like that's a very good thing.
No, 100%. And like we need to upgrade our like uses of hand sanitizer like in a public place, because why are some places the hand sanitizer is the grossest thing in the store sometimes? You ever notice
Right?
that? And
Yes,
you're
it
like,
makes your hands feel even more disgusting.
yeah, and you're like, oh man, I think I was better off not even touching or using this at all. And I know people are trying and they don't know, but then you see videos from like other places where like they just walk through like it looks like a security like you know what I'm talking about, and like kind of
Yeah,
like sprays them or something.
it's
And
a fucking
I don't know,
degermifier or whatever. It fucking
yeah,
that's not the
give us
word
that.
for it, but yeah, we need it.
We need a
I need one of those like
degermifier.
on my door, and I'll just walk out and I'll just be good for the day.
Well, here's an interesting conversation me and Allie were just having. The different phases of lockdown, like when when we first kind of went into lockdown, the big hype was Tiger King. You would always see people in the stores wearing weird masks because no one had one at the time yet, and like people were just like putting on like, I remember there was all those pictures of the girl with like the birthday hat using that as a
Yeah.
mask, or like the one guy had pool noodles out of his head to keep 6 feet from everyone. Like, what were people doing? But it's just so funny, just like the different phases. And then it went into like the phases of all the protests, Black Lives Matter, then that went to it. Then it was the summertime where I feel like everyone thought like it's going to be done by then, but it wasn't, but people still went out. And then it was just so crazy. And like for me and Allie, we went through each of those phases in a different place. Like we started it off at my house in Jersey, then we were at her parents' house for the second half, and now we're in our own place. So we kind of went all over. And the one thing that we did, I guess a lot of people wouldn't agree with, is we did honestly a little bit of traveling during COVID. Like we went to Portland,
Yeah.
went to Wildwood, went to Indiana. I mean, it wasn't like, we were going with groups of people or anything. I mean, to Portland was just to see Fish because he was there. And, Indiana we had to go to because she had to get all her stuff out of her house from school, whatever. But stupid story.
Keep
No,
going.
come on. No, but the bottom line is like I just feel like we did a lot during COVID, despite it being obviously a horrible time, and just the different phases of COVID were just so interesting. I wanted to ask you if you felt that way. Like, was there certain phases that you went through, certain things that you were doing at one point or saw, or like anything
No,
that sticks out as phases?
you hit the phases pretty correctly. There was the initial phase of this is crazy for the first couple months. Then summer came around and people were able to do some stuff, but not really. Mostly independent things.
And outside, usually.
Then towards the end of the summer, and even in the summer, there were a lot of protests, rightfully so, for equal justice
Of course.
and social justice for so many lives out there. It's fucking sickening. I won't even not even going to go in on that because that's a whole podcast in itself right there. But
For sure.
then then I went back to work, so that's like a little phase for me. Then
Yeah.
Biden got elected. Then we went. That was like kind of ish when we were already getting back into shutdown. But that was like a big moment for people, I feel like. And then it was winter again, and then we come back out, and by the time it's starting to get warm again, we have a vaccine. So
I know. I know, and I do feel good that I got it. Like, now we're just good, and I it definitely has been weird, at least at first. I know you and me talked about it, like not going out with masks. Like for me and Allie, especially when we first got the vaccine, we still, or like after like the 2 week time or whatever, like we still were putting on masks, and even now, like a couple, like some places we go to, like we'll just throw it on, especially if people still have signs on their doors about it. Like I don't know, we just usually do, and it's just so interesting kind of like getting used to like not putting it on now, and just like it's like nice, obviously, like it's nice to get back to that, but it's weird. It's like that was our lives for a whole year, doing
yeah,
that like every time you went out, so it's
yeah, and
interesting.
that for every time you went out, there was an equal time of oh shit, I forgot my mask. So it's like just like it's something that
Hmm.
became so integrated in our day-to-day lives. But I did.
Yeah.
I had my second of my barrel loaded, ready to spew a subject all over you.
Let's hear it.
Um, you were talking about bars earlier. Have you ever done this? This is one of my favorite things to do: is bring some pocket files with you, and just buy a Pepsi or something, and just dump your Jack Daniels in your drink.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say, "Do you ever bring pocket files and take them in the bathroom?" But no, I haven't. I've never done that. I usually, if I take pocket files, that's exactly what I do. I'll just sneak them and just take a shot of them. At a bar, I don't. I can't say I have ever just taken pocket files and put them in a drink. Usually, when
Or
I
with like a flask, like people bring a flask
yeah,
too.
right. I normally don't. Usually, when I go to the bar, I like to just like get like their specials. Like I'm all about like the whole bar experience usually. But you did remind me about the pocket files. We had the mini golf place right down the street that I cannot wait for you to come down and do with us. But we always bring pocket files with us. And there's this nice, convenient cave at one point, which I'm sure there's cameras in there, but I don't think they care. Just see us down pocket
Yeah.
files in the cave. But it's fun, man. But no, why do you do that though? When you go to bars?
I'm not like I'm not like notorious for it. It's not like we're gonna go out and it's like
Glorious.
Tabor's gonna order his Coke so you can dump it. Nah, I typically will just go
Is
out and
that the
buy.
talk of the town?
Yeah, it is. I will typically just go and buy drinks. It's like you said, it's like the experience of going out. But depending on where you're going, drinks get fucking expensive, man. And if you
Yeah.
could save yourself fucking $45 by just bringing
Yeah.
the Jameson that you already have and dumping it in your drink and still getting fucked up, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it. Like,
Well, here's a conversation for you that I think you'll 1 billion% understand. Is it hasn't been until I've gotten older, like now, that I've realized that like going out to a bar to buy drinks that are more expensive than they would be if you just stayed home, like going out to a bar, like the atmosphere there, like that is what makes or break that bar. Because like I was just thinking about it, like what are the perks of going out to a bar and buying more expensive drinks than just staying at home? Well, the perks is I guess you can be with people, but the other big thing is the atmosphere of the bar, man. Like it has to be like a good environment, and like we were talking about you working at Spin, like the ping pong bar. Like not everyone has a ping pong table at their dispense in their house to play. Like I think that's so cool. Like
yeah,
that's an incentive to go out and drink. You know what I mean? And like I don't know. I just never thought of it when I was younger. It's like, oh, let's just go and just get slammed. But I don't know. It really does matter. Like you have to incite me to want to leave my house and not just drink and get cheaper drinks here.
yeah,
You know?
no, you hit the nail on the head, and that's what I think. I okay, I feel like you, Macalusa, these, that, the other fish, we're always willing to go out for a good time.
Of
But
course.
some of my other friends, like fantasy football friends, I'm talking like Sean McPherson, this, that, the other. Like I'm never going to be
Shout
able to
out.
rally that group. Yeah, huge, fucking awesome guy, Sean McPherson. I'm not going to be able to rally those troops and get them to go out to Philly. Like that'll just never happen.
Yeah.
Regardless of if I really am pushing
Mhm.
for it or not, like people have this stigma in their head that if you go in this city, it's going to be expensive, this, that, the other. you got to know where to look, and B, like you said, you're paying for the time out. You're paying
Yep.
for I'm in a city with fucking 4 million people or whatever in it. I don't know how many people are in Philly. I'm just making up a number.
A lot.
Maybe a million or two. But you're going to be out. You are paying to be out in the fun. You step out of the door and there's an entire city for you to walk around into.
Yep, a whole playground. And I think another thing that's underrated about going out to a bar is like, yes, there's obviously a lot of times where you're out in the moment and it's crazy and you're having a great time. But then there's times you go out when you're like, oh man, that was kind of rough or whatever. But then the next day or the next week, now it's like just a great story to talk about. Like at the time, like, yeah, it kind of sucked. Like maybe you missed your train, maybe you got too drunk. But now looking back, you're like, damn, like I am happy I went out. Like that was a lot of fun, Like I think that's a big thing.
I have something that I've been meaning to talk about.
Another one, Steve. Let's hear it.
So I told this to you last Friday, I think. So I might have been the day. It was the day after we recorded the podcast. So I've been meaning to bring this up for a while now. So
okay, let's hear
it. This doesn't always happen, but if you're tight knit with your friends, sometimes you and your friends, if you have iPhones, you'll give each other your locations. So I have Fah's location. Fah has mine. I
didn't know that actually.
I've never given a shit personally about who has my location. I'm never up to any such shit. If you want to look at it, go for it. If you really need some Tabor, come find me.
I actually prefer nice people to have my location. I mean, heaven forbid something does happen. Like, there's a lot of people that can be like, well, guy's location,
Yeah.
But whatever, that's a whole side note. Like,
yeah. So you obviously want to you keep your tight knit friends. Like I said, the people that you care about the most. I'm not going to go give it to some Joe Schmo or some random person I don't care about. Yeah. So, every once in a while, I will look at that. I'll look at that list. I'll hit find my friends. I just hit it.
Yeah.
I would scroll down my list and I'd always see this one number. I'm not going to say the number. Actually, I will. 609-922-0372. This is the phone number.
I know whose number that is.
It keeps popping up. Whose phone number used that? Whose phone number did that used to be?
Oh, I got it. Pick me.
Fah.
Right here.
Fah, you have your hand up in the back.
Yeah, it's John Macaluso.
Ding, 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 ding. Correct. Now, John Macaluso had an iPhone that he must have sold to someone. To who I do not know. This person must live in Blackwood because I'm always seeing them in Blackwood and Notre Dame University. So I have a random person's location. They must not know or care because I see them all the time.
And didn't you like genuinely ask not that long ago, like, did Mac move or is he going to Notre Dame?
What did I say to you last Friday?
I forget.
I said, why is Macaluso always in Notre Dame? Or like, what's he doing over there right now? And then you and Papelli, Matt Easterday, were like, dude, what are you talking about?
What?
You said, in fact, I specifically remember you said, what?
Speaking of which, we didn't talk about this. You have the what dude this week. Wait.
I'd be lying if I said I had one.
Come on. Here, wait. You know, it was a highlight of the stream, the pod. Jeez. Highlight of the pod last week, according to Liam Fisher, was my what dude and how it went south. And the final word on the subject. Well, bees can detect bombs. Fish love that one.
Is that just the final word that's all that had to be said on it?
I mean, it was just, I found this cool what dude about big forks don't lead to eating more. I was like, it's interesting. And then I read it. I mean, I read it live. That was my first time reading it. I was like, wait, this is not
weirdly
correct.
Worded.
Yeah, and maybe they mistyped. I don't know. But I feel like when you're doing a what dude like that, you need to have your facts straight, bro.
And how many facts do I have right now?
Zero.
Zero.
None. dude. So I did want to talk about kind of on the same thing of like not about COVID, but just like people kind of getting back into the swing of things. Me and Allie actually took a beach trip last Saturday. Went to our first beach down in Florida. We went to Cocoa Beach. I don't know if anyone out there is familiar with it. Cool little town. I've never been there personally, but it was nice. It was super fun, super like young, like just college kids all over the place. We personally like that. Like I don't know, because we lived in like an old person community for a little while, and now it's nice to just see, young fun lumps. Anyway, so we go to the beach, and I have this brilliant idea. I'm going to take an edible for the beach naturally. This thing starts smacking me right as like honestly perfect timing because we got the umbrella up, we got our station situated, and that is an underrated thing about the beach. Where you pick to sit and the things you bring for that day can make or break your entire day, you know. And I loved our spot. We were close enough to the water, but still far away, and we had kids playing baseball next to us, which I love. I could literally watch that all day. Like I love just like, and we just had a lot of people around us, and we did a lot of people watching, and I couldn't shut up. Like I just could not stop talking. Like at one point, Allie was like, "You gotta wait a second and let me say a word," because I couldn't stop. And I was just in this weird zone. Like there's you know thousands and thousands of people at the beach. And isn't it just so crazy that we will never ever see each other again, but we all ended up on the beach at that same time, at that same point, same year, same day, same like it was so mind-boggling to me.
That is such a fried thought. I love it.
It was just so mind-boggling to me that we all just ended up there together. And I know it's not the craziest thought in the world, but like when you really, I mean, even now, I think it's crazy. Like what are the chances that like, we saw this family. Oh, and it was freaking me out actually, real quick. This is something I wanted to bring up too that I don't know if you're gonna have an opinion on or not, but you know, it doesn't take a lot for you to look at someone and know if they're having a good time or not. Like you can pretty much just look at someone and you can pretty much make a pretty accurate judgment call if they're having fun or not within the first 10 seconds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really just bothering me. Like there was this couple like next to us, but like far enough down, like they weren't ruining our time at all, that just clearly were having like literally the classic type of movie scene. Like we're all shaded, smiling, sun. And then there's this couple with one towel, no umbrella. The dad's like hunched over, getting burnt. The mom's like looking like all pissed off, like just clearly not having a good time. And I said to Allie, it really upsets me when you can visibly see people not having a good time at a place you're supposed to have fun at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know
It's
exactly
sad.
what you mean. But then on the other show, maybe they were having a great day and they're just really introverted.
No, just the whole scene, they were not having a good time. I mean, we weren't talking to people, but
Mm.
I was just talking Allie's ear off, just all about like people and just
Were you
just
painting pictures for everyone?
oh, we were making stories about everyone, and
What was your favorite story? The bad couple next to you, or do you have a good one?
well, there was a lot of good ones. There was actually people surfing that were super cool. Love them. The
How
kids playing
cool were
baseball,
they?
so cool. And like, I don't know if I really want to get onto this conversation on the pod because I don't think I'll be able to describe it well. But something else I was getting onto is just how everyone grows up into like a type of person.
Yeah.
Like, so okay, so like for example, like when we're young, like when we're in middle school or whatever, like you never like see people in your grade and think, well, this person's going to become, that, like an alcoholic or like a. I can only think of bad things, but it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Or like you never think like this person's gonna be, or like you never think someone's gonna be like a famous, sports player, like in middle school or whatever. Like, but it happens. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like it's crazy. Like when you get older and like you just see all these people like take on these like roles of society, and like sometimes they're like surprising. You're like, man, I would have never ever expect that person to become like that, or just whatever the case. I know I'm doing a bad job of explaining
No,
it,
I know
but this
exactly
is
what
one
you're
of my
saying.
thoughts I was having on the
I think it
beach.
has I think it has a lot to do with like confidence in yourself too. Like there comes a certain point in your life, and it typically happens around high school, when like you have to develop confidence and self-belief in yourself. And some people believe in themselves more than others, and some people back
Yeah.
themselves more than others. Some people are more
Hmm.
mentally focused and able to love themselves more, and some people
Hmm.
aren't, you know?
Yeah, well, and that's why I think like if you do become famous, or any sort of like power into that like little like niche that you're good at or do, like I think you like beat the system in a weird way. Like you did that one thing so much more incredibly well than somebody else, in a way, I guess.
Yeah. Or
You know what
even
I mean?
just attempted it. Cause like a lot of the times,
Yeah.
like you'll look at people and you'll be like, they had the effort and confident, again, I'll
Yeah.
use the word confidence, but just to do it, like just to try, just to
Yeah.
push yourself towards
Right.
something. Like some people
Well,
don't even
yeah.
try, and then they're like, oh, why did this never happen for me? Well, you never gave any effort. Like,
Well, no, and that's, I mean, that even goes along hand in hand with our podcast doing it now. I've always wanted to do a weekly podcast, but it's just you can dream and think about doing it, but it only really matters once you finally do it, like we've been doing. And it's a great time. And I've been in a big thing of, I've been in like a quarter life crisis, not really, but just thinking to myself, like, I just want to do everything that I want to do. Like, we don't have to be big and famous. We don't have to be making millions of dollars, but I just want to be able to at least say, we did that. We had fun. And again, I hope this podcast goes for as long as we humanly possibly can. I mean, how funny would it be if we were like 85 talking about like, our nurses or whatever, or whatever we're going through at that point.
I love it. I
But
hope
no,
that
but
happens.
I do too. I think it'd be fun. But yeah, I mean, you just got to put in effort. And quick PSA from Jah and Fah: if there's something you like, do it.
Try
Try.
it, because if at least if you try, even if you gave up in the beginning, you can say you tried.
You can at least say you put your best foot forward and you gave it a go. And I'm happy that we've been doing it. Also, I think this is a good segue. We don't have any actual advertisements yet, so this will be our advertisement. Jah and Fah shirts coming soon. If you want one, hit up Jah or Fah. And this is going to be a quick reenactment of Tabor's PSA from Instagram. Hey, this is Jah here. Just wanted to let you guys know we are selling shirts, brown cream. It's if you ever wanted a Wawa logo, it's going to be right there. No profit, no, not making any kind of money, just good morale. If you want one, contact me, Fa, whoever. Let us know. Give us your size. Again, no profit, just good morale.
That was good, man. You did a
I
good
thought that was
job on
pretty
that one.
accurate. I
Yeah,
loved
no,
it, dude. Dude, I watched it a couple times because like I was just had a huge smile on my face, and Allie's like, "You really like that, don't you?" I was like,
I wish I
love
saved it.
this. Oh, I know. I wish you did too. So good, so good. But seriously, we are I guess giving away shirts.
Giving them away for the price that we're paying for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But no, exactly. So yeah. Let us know if you want a shirt. We still got to talk to Mark. Maybe we'll do that actually because I'll be in
We
Jersey.
should while you're home. Yeah.
Which, speaking of, we need to discuss if we are going to try to do a pod next week.
Oh, we have to.
I mean, so here's the good news too. So like, I'll be there all day Thursday and all day next Monday. We could talk about this off pod, but we'll be there. I'll be there for a while. So like, we should have time as long as we can set up the Ohe.
Yeah. I have one thing I want to put you on the spot with.
Let's hear it.
Give me your best Keith Moffat's 4th of July Day story.
Wow, 4th
And
of July.
And if you could paint a picture to anyone who doesn't know what the Keith 4th of July Day celebrations entail.
It's funny you brought this up because I forget if it was you or somebody else. Someone else suggested that we do one of these big 4th of July parties like now that we're older and we can drink and just ball out on a water slide, which is what always got. Every 4th of July, man, we would get a big ass water slide. Don't even ask me how much it cost because I was young and I'm sure that shit was expensive, but it was so much fun. We'd have a pool, we'd have food. I know 4th of July had a little bit of a different ring this year, but in the past, like, I really looked forward to that. And it was more so, I mean, obviously for the party and the celebration and just like having people, like just having all those people together. Like you just always had an assortment. Like you had like the people from school and then like family and then friends who you didn't go to school with, just like a whole nice crew. But yeah, man, we just would have a water slide, have tons of food. Tabor would come. If I didn't see Tabor all year, I'd see him that day at least.
100%.
And it was just a fun time. And my favorite story, I don't know if this is my favorite story, but it's always one that comes to mind is like, I remember Joe Matchett was there. Joe Matchett was always someone who always showed up. Shout out Joe.
I remember this year already. I can't wait for you to tell the story.
You don't know what. Do you actually?
I'm pretty sure I do.
And it was like a group of us. It was like, I'd say maybe 8. Harrison Hammaker maybe was there too. I can't really remember, but like, it was like later in the night and everyone left. Does this sound familiar to you? And it was just like 8 of us and we camped. We camped outside. Were you there?
Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. I remember a time where Joe Matchett showed up and we stayed up all night and then went to Haggerty at like.
Yes.
Okay, so I was there for that. Yeah.
Yeah. But we had the tent set up to sleep. But I don't think we ever did.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I was there for that because I remember being. You know who else was there that night? Who? Max Peruto, I'm pretty sure was there.
Really?
I'm pretty sure he was.
Kenny, I think, was there too.
Yeah, he was.
But yeah,
I had my first beer that night.
Really? Ever?
Yep.
Well, here's a fun story. Well, yeah. Anyway, so not to go too off track again, but no, that's one time that does stick out to me because it was just fun because like we literally. I personally woke up at like 7 a.m. on 4th of July. I always woke up extra early and we stayed up like all night. Like we got every ounce of that day in that we possibly could. It was so much fun.
And especially that's a lot to do, especially considering how much we were moving earlier in the day. Like you are nonstop running up and down the fucking the slide. It's a giant 25-foot high water slide that you'd see at like the fucking park or that fairs or whatever, anything.
But it was
all day running up and down, beating the shit out of each other, being at the top, pushing each other around.
Yep. I would think we'd honestly get hurt now a little bit, like we were sore back then, like after, like imagine now, like we'd be beat up.
The thing is, I think I mentioned this to you before, or even a day or two ago. I can never remember who I say shit to these days, but when you're a kid like that, you just have blind confidence and blind energy. Like that's why I said it'd be nice to take your kid to Wyoming. Like just fucking let that kid run around for a week. Yeah. Like you never even think about having energy or if you break your leg, of course it's gonna hurt. But like I'm not gonna wake up the next morning and be like, oh, both my glutes and my lower back are killing me. Like that'll never happen.
Yeah, and that's even an interesting topic you just brought up. Like, isn't it crazy how we're like kind of out of that? I don't know about you, but I feel like I personally am out of that phase of like that blind confidence era of just being like, I'll be good, I'll be fine. Like now I feel like I'm like, oh man, like I might get hurt. I might not want to do this. I mean, like obviously the water slide I would still love to do, but just like in another situation though, like maybe I would have done it when I was 18, but now I'm like, like going like 120 on the highway. This is just a hypothetical. I've never done this, but I totally have. But I don't think I would do that now. Like I'd be like, I don't know. Like I just, I feel like once you get older, it's like it's not even like a maturity thing. I think it's just like a damn, bro, like that's just kind of scary.
17 and 18 is that perfect peak of you are starting to get a little bit of like leeway in terms of responsibility.
Yeah.
You also still have that I don't give a fuckness.
Exactly. And it's a fun time, and it's crazy. Growing up is crazy. I could just talk about just again, I mean, back to like how everyone like turns into the types of people when they get older. Like you just never think that. And like, I grew up and I became a tall Swede. Here we are.
Did you have anything else on the 4th of July, man?
Yeah, on the 4th of July, just the last thing I wanted to say about the 4th of July that I like so much is just really the different variety of people you got when you
Yeah.
showed up to the 4th of July. It was just so much fun because, like, yeah, you had the classics like you and Mac and Fish and all those guys, but then you'd have like some weird people. Like for me, like Max Peruto would be a weird guy to hang out with. I know for you, you guys are close friends, but like someone like that to show up was crazy. Or like, some of my band friends when I was in high school would show up,
Yeah.
or like, family I haven't seen in a long time, or everyone just somehow made it there. And we'd always keep a count every year of how many people
I
showed
forgot
up.
about
And
that.
we'd be over 100, over 120 almost every year. There was like a couple years we had like 80, but that was still, we were like, geez, that's a lot of people.
It
You know?
still is a
But
shit
yeah,
ton of people.
it really is. But it was so fun. This 4th of July, I was actually blessed with the presence of Fish and Jenny. They came down here, had a great time. Fish made some brats for us.
Nice.
And I think that was the day, yeah, because we went mini golfing. I'd already told that whole story, but yeah, we went mini golfing that day, and we just had a great time, man. It was a lot of fun. Definitely different than the 4th of July parties that we used to have, but we made the best out of it. We just had a good time. We hung out, we drank, owed around all night.
Dude, think about how nice it would be when we're older. If when we have kids and shit, throwing a party like that for our kids, how crazy that would be.
Oh my god, I would love it. Well, and the thing about it too is I feel like it was always a special treat, like not even a special treat, but like it was always like crazy, like if an adult got on the water slide. Where I feel like if we threw that, we'd be on it just as much.
We'd either have to buy two or we would just be throwing the kids off the entire time.
Exactly. It'd be like, screw you, man. We're on this. Like, it would always be a big deal. Like, oh god, Uncle Jim's hopping on the slide.
I would always love
You
when
know what
your
I mean?
mom got on. You know your mom. You
Oh
knew your
my
mom was
god.
feeling it when she jumped on
Oh.
the.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how you knew a lot of them were drunk when they started
Yeah,
getting on the slides,
yeah.
But no, it's just a super fun. I just want to see. Oh my god! Real quick segue. The McDonald's story of horror. I
Yeah.
totally forgot. I just looked.
How much of a tease? It's going to be the entire episode. They're going to have to wait. That face was
Was
disgusting.
that? Oh, me and Tabor. Quick case update. We've had a horrible case of the HUAs.
They're so
Oh my
disgusting, man.
gosh. So yeah, so 2 nights ago we had a McDonald's trip of horror. I swear it was awful. So it was one of those days where me and Allie could not decide what we wanted to eat at all. So much so that we honestly kind of ended up deciding not to eat at all. Like we were just like, you know what? Like we truly can't decide. Like we'll just have snacks tonight.
Yeah.
Well, then it was like 9 o'clock, like 9 p.m. And I got this notification from DoorDash and it said 25% off your next two orders. And I was like, this is actually kind of hype. Like, do you just want to do McDonald's? Like, and we haven't had McDonald's in a long time, but for some reason I was just craving it. We've been big on the Wendy's 4 for $4. Shout out Wendy's, but I don't know. Just McDonald's just sounded good, and Allie was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Put our order in. We got a driver or whatever. And every time we order from DoorDash, it always does get delayed. It never comes at the time it's supposed to. So it got delayed to like 10. I was like, no big deal. Then it's like 10:30. Then the driver texts me and says, like, hey, I'm so sorry. It's really busy here. I was like, hey, no problem. Like, thank you so much for letting me know, whatever. Super nice of the guy. Another 30 minutes go by. And he's like, 10 minutes. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I was like, all right, yeah, thank you. 10 minutes go by. All of a sudden, I get a text from him. Sorry, buddy. Your order's canceled. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, what's going on? It's so late. It's a Thursday. Like what's even the issue? He said crazy store is all he said. 2 words. And the order was canceled. And I got my refund from DoorDash. So Allie was like, let's just drive. Like, let's just do it. Like, we should have just drove in the first place. Like, let's just go. Let's just get this food. Dude, I've never seen something like this in my life. Every single fast food place, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, all had a line out in the street wrapped around in the parking lot. And I'm not even close to exaggerating. Like, we went to the first McDonald's. the line was out on the street. We were like, let's just go to the other one. Went to the other one, wrapped. I mean, like circles, like in the parking lot. Like I've never seen anything like this in my life. We ended up driving to a McDonald's that was 15 minutes away. Still had a huge line, but we waited in it, and I think it was the best one we could have waited in because at this point it's midnight. Keep in mind, I put the original order in at like 9 o'clock. Had the best service. They were super nice. They were as quick as they could be. They had their shit on lock. They got our stuff right. The food was good. We had to wait for 45 minutes in line. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it was the best case scenario. And bottom line, it took us 3.5 hours to get McDonald's.
That's fucking terrible, man.
It was crazy.
Now, let me ask you, how right was the dude that texted you saying the McDonald's was crazy?
He would. Well, I thank you for bringing that up. I actually said to Allie, I'm really happy I wasn't mean to the guy. Yeah, I actually feel bad. Right. He was right. Like I actually felt bad for making him come out after we saw how bad it was. We had no. It was just it was a Thursday. We were like, it was late already. We were like, what is he talking about? Like I honestly, I don't know. I didn't know what I thought, but I honestly thought he was dicking around. I thought he was eating our food a little bit, but he wasn't. He was genuine.
How genuine was he?
So genuine. But yeah, dude, it was crazy. And we actually ended the night though with good morale. We watched a new Rick and Morty, which I actually thoroughly enjoyed. I thought it was really funny. Been really loving the Rick and Morty season.
I liked it. I've been enjoying all the episodes.
Yeah, there actually hasn't been a single. I was just telling this to Allie. There hasn't been a single episode where I was like, I really didn't like that one. Every single one I've watched, I've really, really enjoyed. They've all been really, really good. And this one's no different. So, bottom line is we did make it home. We did eat our McDonald's. It was really good. And we honestly like passed out as soon as after we ate it. Like it was like just a crazy night, like nothing of what we expected. So it was crazy.
Would you rather me give a McDonald's, what dude? Or a Rick and Morty, what did you say?
Oh.
What dude?
Wait. Oh, I kind of want to hear the Rick and Morty one.
All right, so the Rick and Morty one I have. This is 12 fascinating facts about Rick and Morty. This is one of the ones that I hand plucked. Did you know that Dan Harmon, the creator of the show, views Rick as the seam between God and man? Though you can enjoy Rick and Morty simply as a zany cartoon with some crude humor, you can also dive deeper into the human condition and wrestle with the existence of God itself through these characters. Harmon, in a video promoting the show's second season, talked about how the series constantly searches for some sort of meaning in the meaningless of life. One of the main conflicts, according to Harmon, is the idea that the creator is the idea of the creator against the created. This is seen in Rick's apathy towards his own creations in the show, like Adolf Linkler, Rick's half Lincoln, half Hitler experiment that's hell-bent on revenge. Harmon calls Rick the seam between God and man, and his nihilistic apathy towards his own creation is echoed in Joseph Campbell's belief that God is an impersonal cosmic force. On a more cheerful note, Harmon disagrees with Rick's sentiment that nothing really matters, saying that type of philosophy gets you nowhere.
Wow. Love that. I
felt like a good ad read from me.
That was good. That was really good. That was good job.
Thank you.
No, dude, it's I always say this. Like exactly what that said. Like it just seems like a stupid show that just makes no sense. But like, there's like some deep themes and like topics on the show. Like I was just telling you last night. Like they had an interview with Dan Harmon and just about like if you never saw episode 5, it's they pretty much make fun of Jerry the whole time, but you can physically see like Rick is not happy like about it. Like he does care like about Jerry, and it's not because he loves Jerry, it's because his daughter loves Jerry, so he does feel bad. And it's just interesting to see. I said this on the last pod, I love Rick's personality this season. Like I think they're really making him a little more human, like in a way, like not that he wasn't before.
No, but, I know exactly what you're saying. He feels less like extreme and more to the ground.
Well, like there's just be some episodes in the past where I felt like he was a dick just to be a dick. Like there is really no rhyme or reason. Where this season, like he's still a dick, but it's funny.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, like you're saying, he's just more grounded. Like he has more of a personality. Like he's not just this crazy scientist. Like I love like the one episode of him and Summer just partying. Like that, like
Yeah.
that's so like I like that kind of Rick. Just that party, like go on adventures. Not that serious Rick. Like it's needed at times, but overall, I like the Rick of this season. He's really cool.
And let me give my other what, dude. I'm gonna give it for free. This is free for everyone.
Yes, I knew it.
This is a McDonald's. What did you say?
Did you like that?
I did.
Good.
So I don't know if you knew this, but
Cold.
well, typically when you see a McDonald's open, so McDonald's itself is not like if you see the McDonald's building, that building is not owned by McDonald's, or the building itself and all the people in it are not like built and paid for by McDonald's itself. Essentially, if you were to see a McDonald's, you'll typically see a McDonald's that's been franchised out. So someone will pay to use McDonald's as their own business. Essentially, they'll pay to have their licensing, to have their burgers sent to them, this, that, the other. Well, so the way that kind of got started was back in the day when McDonald's initially got started in California. It was only one place, and it was like a family-friendly place. It was a little busy, but it kind of went through waves. There was a gentleman, Ray Kroc, who discovered McDonald's because I can't remember what reason he was out there. I think he was out there to sell milkshake machines, and he went out there and discovered he was talking to the people from McDonald's, and he ended up realizing a loophole was to essentially what he would do is he would buy the land and then install the building. Then you would rent the building and pay McDonald's. So it's a franchise, and he would just make money hand over foot. So
wow.
So he essentially made you completely reliant on him for business. You would have to go to him to buy to buy the meat, to buy the fucking ice cream or whatever for the milkshakes, this, that, the other. Like, you are locking yourself in to being a business with someone, and they're constantly going to be making money. So they're always making money on buildings lease that you're paying to them, the re-upping on the franchising rights or whatever. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Like they're just making money everywhere.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Crazy. I love the 2 dudes today, man. You went from 0 to 2.
From 0 to 2. It went good, man. It went good.
Love that. Love that.
I lost my path a little in the McDonald's story, but I got back there. It was good.
No, I was with you. I thought you did a great job.
Thanks.
Just the only other thing, this one really doesn't matter, but me and Allie did go for a nice little walk the other day around this trail. Dude, we saw armadillos. Thought that was fun. Never saw an armadillo in my life. It was cool.
Now,
we got to see some nature.
First time for everything.
Mm-hmm. And also, I want to ask, any music recommendations this week?
Let me boot up the old Spotify. I'm sure I do. Obviously,
I did want to ask.
Kanye West's album did not come out, unfortunately.
I was really hoping it was going to, so we could maybe talk about it a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I got my recommendation.
Let me hear it.
Go listen to Watermelon Man by Herbie Hancock. Fucking great song. Herbie Hancock is this guy from like the fucking, I think he's been doing shit from the 60s on. He's like, he makes like all these, I think you would really like it. Do you remember that jazz inspired-ish beat that you put on the playlist? It's not similar in terms of like sound. That was a very, very weak head shake, but
No, I do.
Yeah. No, it's like, it's kind of like that. It's like, it's not, there's no lyrics or anything. It's just noise, but it sounds so congruent. It's almost like there is vocals.
Could you actually add it to the playlist if you haven't already?
Of course. Let me do that.
I feel like every recommendation does need to be added.
Yeah, no. I hope anyone out there has followed the playlist. If you're on Spotify, Jah and Fah playlist on Spotify.
Yeah, don't forget, Steve.
You got anything else?
Other than that, man, I think I might be good. I feel like this pod flew by. I'm not happy about it.
I'm not gonna say this is at least an hour and 20 again, but I think this is around 50 minutes to an hour if I had to guess.
I would guess as well.
Yeah.
It flew by. But seriously, let us know if you want any shirts. We're gonna be getting them in production this weekend. Next
Please
weekend.
do. And again, we need to start like a Google Doc, or people need to comment on our Instagram. Give a shit at you if you want to hear us talk about something. Give us a little shout. We'll talk about
Yeah, give us a shout.
it.
Other
All
than
right,
that,
man.
man, it's been fun.
It's been very fun. It's been very fun. Thanks for listening again, guys. This has been episode 16. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to tune in next week. We'll be back again every Monday around 8 a.m.
All right, wake up.
I'll see you, man.
I'll see you.